Here is going to be a short video about something I liked in an issue of Ms. Marvel. So issue 11 from the 2016 run has something good in it that actually should have been done earlier.
Development.
I'm going to skip the beginning part of this book because I'm just here to talk about the ending of the issue. So Bruno,
the oppressive straight white male,
decided to do another oppressive act and try and free people that were illegally arrested by the great and almighty Captain Marvel and her group of amazing
and not actual fascists
teenagers. So the way he wanted to free these people was to detonate some bombs, and they end up blowing him up instead. All this happens after the retarded events of Civil War II. Like, who the hell would side with Carol? What they do is arrest people without a warrant, and the people they're arresting have the possibility of committing a crime. They haven't committed the crime yet, they have the possibility of committing the crime. So, here's a grand idea. Why not just show up at the person's house or location and talk to them and tell them they shouldn't do what they're going to do?
Incredible idea.
But we're talking about modern Marvel here, where actual good ideas are thrown away because they're oppressive or require a working brain. So Kamala saved him and sent him to the hospital, and here he is being taken care of. Meanwhile, Kamala looks on at him and decides to do what she should have done in the first place and leave Captain Marvel behind and choose actual justice. So after fighting off the squad of Burger King Kids Club, Kamala meets up with Captain Marvel and tells her that her brilliant and dictatorial rule is dumb and should be stopped. She calls in Iron Man and they talk to Carol Manverse and she bails out. So now Kamala just stood up to her hero, and
this is development.
A person standing up to their idol is a hard choice, and that's a good thing. It develops a character! It changes them. So back at the hospital, Bruno is awake and Kamala is overjoyed. Happy, she runs to him. He falls over a little bit. Kamala tells Bruno that she fixed everything and that Jersey is free from Captain Hitler.
But wait!
Bruno ain't having that shit, girl. He tells her that this whole event isn't about her. He lost the usage of his dominant hand and can barely walk, if at all. Kamala tries to apologize to Bruno, but
it's too late to apologize. It's too late.
Bruno tells her that everything has revolved around her and her being a superhero, and only when she needed his brains does she seem to care. This is completely true. As if she did care, then she would have listened to her own best friend. Kamala keeps trying to apologize to Bruno, but the savage mansplains to Kamala, and mansplain isn't a word apparently because the red underline just happened. Well, would you look at that? Strange. Must not be a real thing. So anyways, he interrupts Kamala and tells her that he's leaving. Like leaving New York and going to a college out of the country. This is because he blew up a building, or at least attempted to, and no college he applied to will take him for that. Kamala begs him to stay, but he tells her that this is the only chance to make something out of his own life. He tells her that he doesn't want anything from her and he just wants her to leave. So she runs away crying. So why do I like this? Because it's something that needs to happen. It's a hardship that a superhero needs to go through, but Kamala hasn't had it in her own series. All she gets wrong, her friends back her up and validate everything she does as perfect. This is not a superhero trait. They are supposed to protect people from dangers and be icons of heroic actions. Yes, they should have people supporting them. But when they get things wrong and fail, they need to carry it with them forever and learn from their mistakes. This is something that Spider-Man,
before SJW Marvel took over,
had to deal with after the death of Uncle Ben and Gwen Stacy. Kamala has had all her friends, family, and superheroes behind her. She should have at least lost Bruno either for good or after his return. She should have felt grand and happy. But soon after, her brother dies or father dies and she has to deal with the failure of not saving them. It's a hardship that everyone has to go through in the superhero business, and Kamala needs this in her life. But Marvel's too scared to evolve a goddamn character. People like when a hero of theirs fails because we can relate to them more. We can look at them as if they are actual people behind the mask. Look at Star Wars. Why do people hate Rey? Because she never fails at anything she does. But look at something like Avatar: The Last Airbender. The women of that series have flaws and even fail as much as the men do. They are characters with development. Over time, they
Develop.
to make sure they don't fail like that again. So this is why this chapter is good. Kamala is a good character. She's worth a damn. I actually like Kamala. But her comic holds her back. Kamala develops a bit in this issue and it changes her. At least until the next issue.